Believers IAS Academy's the daily Hindu newspaper analysis. So today we have taken up a few articles that are important from UPSC perspective. So the first article says the law of sedition is unconstitutional. This article, written by Acharya, PDT Acharya, who is a former Secretary General on Lok Sabha, says that there is an urgent review required of the Kedarnath judgment as sedition law is violating the basic rights of speech and expression. So first of all, we need to know what sedition law is. Sedition law is provided under the section 124A of IPC, that is the Indian Penal Code. So in the Indian Penal Code, section 124A, it is said that any person who is going to bring hatred or disaffection towards the government will be charged under this section. That is, this can be just not through speech, it can be through words either spoken or written, or by signs or by visible representation. Alright, and anyone who is going to bring hatred or contempt or excites or attempts to excite disaffection, you have to focus on these words. It's hatred, disaffection, which are actually vague. Alright, its interpretation can be interpreted according to the whims of the administration towards the government established by Indian law. They can be charged under section 124A of IPC, and it is not a very simple case. So section 124A is actually a non-bailable offence, and the punishment of it could extend from 3 years until 3 years to a life term, to which fine might be also added. And the person charged under this law is also barred from government employment, and he cannot have passport, and he should be he or she should produce themselves in the court at all times as and when required. So in the article, it says that this article, the context is that the recent context, what has happened is that a sedition case had been registered against the Lakshadweep filmmaker Aisha Sultana. This is just because the filmmaker has made a strong comment against the government. But although there is no any kind of public disorder or anything created after the speech, as it has been mentioned in the Kedarnath judgment that this although in this case the constitutionality of sedition law has been upheld, but they have said that it should be limited. Like there should not be just because strong speech or something, people cannot be charged under this section. But the government seems to have been completely disregarding, completely ignoring this judgment by the Supreme Court, and hence they have been actually misusing this law in order to target criticism towards the government. So the punishment, and also we also know that we have Article 90, right, which provides us with the fundamental right. It's a fundamental right, and it's provide us with the right to speech and expression, right? And also, although there are different kind of reasonable restrictions, like when somebody is threatening the public order or acting against the sovereignty of the country or peaceful relation between different countries, then there is a reasonable restriction towards freedom of speech. But Article 90, when a law like sedition law is actually against this fundamental right. So this is what the article basically talks about. So what are the advantages and disadvantages that 124A is putting forward to us? So firstly, it is going to give a smooth hand for the security forces when dealing with insurgency or rebel groups. Alright, they can be easily charged under this section. And also it is combating anti-national secessionist and terrorist elements. Also, protection from attempts to overthrow the government with violence and illegal means. If this kind of things are happening, this law is actually quite very effective. It puts the investigation agency, the police forces to easily track the threats. But at what cost? At the cost of our freedom of speech and expression. At the cost of the basic democratic value. So if contempt of court invites, so this is another argument that contempt of court is already there, that we cannot blatantly criticize the court, and if we do so, there will be contempt of court and we can be charged, we can be convicted for that. So this argument says that if contempt of court is inexistent, then why not contempt of government is inexistent? Okay. So what are the disadvantages of section 124A? So it is a relic of colonial legacy. So this law has been added to our system back in the 19th century by the British government in order to deal with our freedom fighters, in order to tackle our freedom fighters, to suppress the voice of our freedom fighters. So this has been brought in. So this continued until now. So that's how we still have this section 124A. And it is against constitutionally guaranteed freedom of speech and expression. Article 19 provides us with freedom of speech and expression. It is against that. And dissent and criticism of the government are essential ingredients of robust public debate in a vibrant democracy. So it is a basic quality of democracy that we should be able to criticize the government that we have elected. We should be able to talk freely our opinions on the government that we have elected. And the right to question, the right to criticize and change rulers is a fundamental right when it comes to democratic values. So this is why this section 124A is very lethal for a democratic country. And the British abolished the law in their country. So the British are the people who have brought this law back in the colonial time. In their country, in their place, they have actually abolished this law. But still in India, a democratic country, this is continuing. And the terms, as I've told before, the terms like disaffection, which can be vaguely interpreted by the people who are sitting in power, is used in this section, section 124A, and hence it can be misused very easily. And another thing is that we already have other laws in place to deal with disorder, public disorder, or any kind of insurgency or anything. We have already laws in place. We have already other sections in IPC, and also we have laws like UAPA, which is also under criticism. Alright, so disrupting public order, overthrowing the government with violence and illegal means, these words are already mentioned in a much better way. So these are sufficient for protecting national integrity. So why do we have this sedition law again? And it has been misused over time, like especially during this COVID time. If you have looked at, many people has been charged under sedition law. Even before that, even you might have seen news about Central University students being convicted by using this sedition law. So government has been misusing this sedition law, is what this article goes on to say. And India had ratified the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. So this is an international treaty which sets forth internationally recognized standards of the protection of freedom of expression. So we have ratified this treaty, the International Covenant of Civil and Political Rights. So this treaty India has ratified, but still we are acting against it. So that's all about that article. This is what the article is saying. Actually, the sedition law has been, we have seen it all on the use. It has been used again and again, and it's time that we need to review this, this law and review the Supreme Court judgment also, and make it more, difficult for the government not to use this law again and again, and actually suppress the rights of the people, the rights that our Constitution has given to us. So the next article is about it's written by IG, retired IG of CRPF. It talks about the Central Armed Police Force. So whenever there is a Central Armed Police Forces operation, a CRPF, BSF, or any operation, and if any kind of backlash is faced, if there is any Maoist attack on the CRPF, what happens is that in news channels, military people, that is the army people, the air force people, even IPS officers are brought in to give their expert opinions. And the article says that it makes no sense to appoint army officials as advisors for anti-Maoist operation in the Home Ministry. So there has been comments like this saying that we should have advisors from the military in order to help the Central Armed Police Forces. So first we look at what the CAPF is. CAPF stands for Central Armed Police Forces, and it contains about 7 forces, which is one is Assam Rifles, then Border Security Force, Central Industrial Security Force, Central Reserve Police Force, Indo-Tibetan Border Police, National Security Guard, and Samshastra Seema Bal. So some of these forces are actually border guarding forces too, but they are very versatile. So if you look at our map, like we have the border over here, right? The Indo-Pakistan border and the Bangladesh border. Who guards these areas? It is the BSF that guards these areas. And then here we have border with Nepal and Bhutan. It is by Samshastra Seema Bal. And here with Myanmar we share a border. So here it is guarded by Assam Rifles. So these are the and another we also have here Indo-Tibetan Border Police, which is guarding the border between India and China. So these are the border guarding force. Apart from that, we have CRPF, which is Central Reserve Police Forces, who are deployed all around the country wherever there are public disorder. Like for example, insurgency happening in the Maoist area, the Red Corridor area, they'll be deployed there. Northeast insurgency, they can be deployed there. And even in Jammu and Kashmir, where we are facing militant attacks, even there they are deployed. It's not just in these areas. Whenever, in order to assist the police forces and all, they are deployed. And even it doesn't mean that even these border guarding forces are very versatile. They have been deployed in to share the duty. For example, BSF has been deployed in Maoist insurgency areas. ITBP has been sent abroad in order to actually guard the consulates of India and Afghanistan. So even VIP production, a lot of things they do provide. And then we have CISF. They actually are a force that is supposed to guard the industrial, like for example nuclear reactors or in PSUs, which are in dangerous area. Even in airports you can see CISF. So important installations that has strategically important or important industrial installments of the government, that will be protected by CIS. Then we have National Security Guard. So what do? They are a light commando force, you can say. Whenever there is a threat from terrorists, a hostage situation, in such situation NSG is what is the first. They can be the first response. For example, you might have seen in the Mumbai terror attack, they were the force who brought down the terrorists. Even in Blue Star operation, NSG's role was very important. And these are the Central Armed Police Forces, and they are, the recruitment of these officers, these force people, these soldiers are taken in a different way. It's not from army, it's not from police. It's a different force. Okay, and the officers are also taken through UPSC CAPF Assistant Commandant examination. And what this article says is that whenever a backlash has been faced, these army officers and naval officers and air force officers are even brought in to give advices. But the allegations that they give, they are saying that it is not, does not have any backing, because it is usually said that CAPF has not been trained well and all, but the operational capability of CAPF, just like I have explained to you, it is very much evident. They have been fighting even in wars. They have been dealing with Maoist insurgency. There are forces like Cobra, Commando Battalion for Resolute Action, which has actually helped the country in reducing the Maoist insurgency. And there are even state police commando forces like the Greyhounds of Andhra Pradesh, which has effectively reduced the insurgency in Andhra Pradesh area. Like that, these forces are also extremely trained. You cannot completely disregard the kind of expertise that these personnel has. So it is not required, it is not necessary to have military officials in order to guide as the CAPF post, because they are already well equipped, they are already have the experience, they have more experience dealing with the Maoist insurgency or Northeast insurgency or whatever. Okay, they are a very versatile force is what this article goes on to say. So next article is about the Agni B missile, the nuclear capable Agni B missile being test fired. So Agni B is a new generation advanced variant of the Agni class of missile. So Agni missiles are basically, we'll look at what Agni missiles are. So Agni missiles is a family of medium to intercontinental range ballistic missiles. So when we say intercontinental range ballistic missiles, it means it is able to travel a long distance, and ballistic missile means when a missile is sent from here, it will have this kind of projection, that it will use its fuel until it reaches the atmosphere, its peak of its projection, and after that it will use the Earth's gravitational force to come down. That is a ballistic missile. If a missile is being completely guided, straight, it can go whichever way it wants, then that is called cruise missile. So BrahMos is an example of cruise missile. Okay, so Agni is a nuclear capable intercontinental ballistic missile, and it has a very long range. Okay, Agni missiles, and it would extend, I think, like Agni missile 5 range is almost 5,000 to 8,000 kilometer, and Agni 6, which is still in development stage, its range is said to be about, after when it's commissioned, it will be around 10,000, 11,000 kilometer range, and it is nuclear armed, and it's a surface to surface ballistic missile. As I said, it will go from one surface to surface. It can be water, it can be land, or whatever. Okay, it won't be fired from a airplane probably, because surface to surface means this. And the longest, it is the longest. Agni 5 is the longest one that we have now. So that is Agni. And here what we have is Agni P. Alright. So Agni P is actually Agni Prime. Okay, P stands for prime. And it is a canisterized missile. So what is a canisterized missile? That we will see. So canister based launch system. So it is actually a container for transportation. It's like a housing platform for this missile. So it provides operational flexibility too. And there are two types of canister system. So one is hot launch. So in this, missile is ignited inside the cell, and the other one is cold launch, which means missile is expelled by gas produced by a gas generator, which is not part of the missile itself, and then the missile ignites. So this is considered to be safer. Okay, and hot launch is considered not to be that much safe. So cold launch is much more safer. So that's about canister based launch system. And okay, its range is 1000 to 1000 and 2000 kilometer. And many advanced technologies, including composites, propulsion system, innovative guidance and control mechanism, and state-of-the-art navigation system have been introduced. So these important advanced technologies has been inducted into this prime version of Agni. Okay. So what are the upgrades? Improved maneuvering and accuracy. So as a result of improved technology being added into this, we have improved maneuvering and accuracy. Then canisterization of missiles reduces the time required to launch the missile while improving its storage and mobility. So as I said, this canister system is actually going to provide operational flexibility, and as a result, because it has been added to the Agni Prime, it is going to have improving storage will be improved and mobility will also be improved. Okay, so this is an image of different missiles and its range, the missiles that India owns and its range. So when we take Prahar missile will have 150 kilometer radius. Okay, so from this is the range with Prahar that we can reach. Almost all of Pakistan is coming inside that, and parts of China is coming inside that. Then we have BrahMos, which is a cruise missile. As I said, I have already explained what's the difference between BrahMos, cruise missile, and intercontinental ballistic missile, right? And then, BrahMos missile have range up to 300 km, and Prithvi will have 350 km. Agni 700 kilometer. Nearby, which is a cruise missile, will have 800 plus kilometer. And the Agni 2 about 2000 kilometer, Agni 3 3200 kilometer, and so on. And the highest one, that is Agni 5 that we have, which is operational right now, will have 5000 kilometer range, which will include almost all of China also, right? And different African countries, even Arabian countries, and even parts of Europe is also coming inside it. So this is an image of the kind of missiles we have, the range we have around India. So that's all about it. So for more such videos, do subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also be a part of our Telegram channel where you're gonna get all the updates that we post. And we are active on social media like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. You can follow us there, and do visit our website where you will see the kind of course structure we provide. And you can also see our contact information there, and you can contact us regarding any kind of UPSC civil services examination guidance. Thanks for watching the video.